Just
You're good.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2022 penultimate leg of the Championship Series for World Triathlon here in Bermuda. Once again, 2018 and 19 were great years, but after the pandemic, we make a welcome return back, and happy to announce that we have Dame Flora Duffy here. Welcome, Flora, back home after a great race last weekend. You raced the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in St. George, Utah, where you finished a wonderful 5th place, so congratulations on that. And joining us as well today is, well, I should say also the current Olympic champion from 2020, held in 2021, of course, in Tokyo. So we do have our Olympic gold medalists here today. Christian Blumenfeld also coming off a great weekend last weekend, winning the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in St. George, Utah. So congratulations, Christian. You guys have been pretty good at collecting those gold medals. So anyway, I'm just going to start with you, Flora. Congratulations on all the success. What does it mean to you to be home racing this weekend?
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to be back and to race at home this weekend, particularly after the last 2 years when it's was canceled, postponed because of COVID. I remember being really disappointed last year right off the back of the Olympics to come home and race so soon after winning in Tokyo. So that kind of just feels like it's postponed a year, and I just want to enjoy being able to race on the streets that I grew up racing on as the Olympic champion, and I think that's pretty special and very rare that one gets to do that in their career. So for me, it feels like a big celebration and just enjoying the moment.
Christian, you've been used to doing long distance races in 2022. However, you have some pretty good foot speed as well. Last time, well, actually, I won't say the last time, but in 2018, the Norwegians, they clean swept the podium with Kasper Stornes and Christian Blumenfeld, Gustav Iden. And then in 2019, Gustav Iden was on the podium in 3rd place as well. And I think the Norwegians have made a pact that they're going to get back on the podium again this weekend. Is that right, Christian?
Yeah, I think at least that's our dream. Like we have 4 out of 6 male medals from this race, and of course we want to be back on the podium. But it could also be too early for me after like the really big focus on both Hawaii and St. George in last month, and I just try to use this one as a comeback and see where I'm standing compared to the other guys. Like Alex has been really strong the whole season, and even last year he was, yeah, I just barely managed to take him down in Tokyo. So I know the level is high, and I just want to see where I'm standing before maybe being able to put in some more specific training going into the grand final in 3 weeks.
Okay, Flora, you've had a great season as well. You're in a race for the World Championship. This would be your 4th title if you were to take it this year. Also a different sort of focus in 2022 and a few other, what can I say, like medium distance races, thrown in there with the other races that you've been doing. How is it that you can change from a middle distance race over to the short distance race just 1 week after?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. I don't really know how it's going to go. We're going to find out on Sunday. But yeah, this year my focus wasn't on repeating or trying to defend my series world title. I just kind of wanted to try something new and take it race by race and explore some longer course racing, which has been a big challenge and probably hasn't gone as smooth as I had hoped or anticipated. But again, I've really enjoyed that, and sort of surprised to find myself 2nd in the series, given everything, having had COVID twice, lots going on behind the scenes. So it puts a little bit more pressure on this race because I really need to win if I want to try and win my 4th title in Abu Dhabi in 3 weeks' time. Georgia has some really strong races, really strong scores. So I don't know, coming off the back of 70.3 World Championships, it's 9 days in between the races. I think that should be enough. I've definitely been doing a fair amount of speed all year because a lot of my races have been sprint distance. So hopefully that whole variation lines up well for an Olympic distance on Sunday.
Yeah, it should line up for you very well. Your record is impeccable. Just a fun fact here, the woman who won the Ironman 70.3 World Championship last weekend is Taylor Nick from the United States. She'll be lining up in this race as well. They both raced last weekend. Last time that Taylor actually competed in 2018, Flora Duffy lapped Taylor Nick on Flora Duffy Hill, so, which was formerly known as the corkscrew. So anyway, that's just
that won't happen this week.
I just wanted to bring that up, all right? It's always good for a laugh, right? All right, Christian, just switching gears as well as Flora, you were mentioning that, this year was based off long distance racing. You haven't had, any track workouts. So the foot speed is going to be a little bit different, but the bike course here, I think, sets up well for the Norwegians. Very punchy, very hard bike course with a lot of turns that have been, put in, at the eastern end of the course here this year. How do you see that playing out? Is that a tactic that the Norwegians will put into play on Sunday?
Well, I hope that we can take advantage of it. And it's not just the elevation of the course and kind of the punchy hills, and even the Flora Duffy Hill has become a bit longer, cracking to the right and the top, and also the wind is tricky. Like it's at least the last 2 times, even not easy to stay in the wheel because like spinning around the wind. So sometimes you have crosswind, sidewind, tailwind. So it's tends to be a course where if you're riding in front, it's almost like while it's riding further back. So I just hope that I can get a decent swim and be up there early on the bike and kind of be drilling the pace there, and maybe take down the run speed in the end, because if it's just a soft 40k bike ride, then it's even harder to come from long distance and be able to have the leg speed. So I just hope that it's an hour and 45 minutes of tough racing.
No doubt about it, and Christian wouldn't want it any other way. He's one of the guys that has a heart the size of a lion and will push the limits every single second of the day. Flora, I wanted to talk local because you were brought into this sport, with your parents, and your mother's being a very competitive, triathlete. I remember you being, one of the Iron Kids races when you were 8 years old. It's your passion. You've made a great living out of it. But how important is it for you to be out here for the future generation? I mean, I look at people like Tyler Smith and also Erica Hawley that we'll be talking to in just a moment. But there seems to be just as many kids in the kids duathlon on Sunday morning as what there is going to be in the age group sprint and Olympic distance tomorrow. And I think that's largely because of you.
Yeah, I mean, triathlon is quite a very popular sport here in Bermuda, and the Tri-Heads, the club that I started at many years ago, the same coach is still there, Neil DeSinqua, and I think that's really incredible when I come back and I go and go see the kids at Tri-Heads on a Saturday morning. Like, a lot of time has passed, and it's still the same person there, and I think that really speaks volumes to the triathlon community in Bermuda. And in the late 90s, you raced. I was about 10 years old, and I could watch firsthand a professional triathlon event. And for me at the time, I didn't know that was possible, and I got to see it, and that really left a big impression on me. And so I guess I'm hopeful that it's very similar for the young Bermudians that come out and watch on Sunday. Not necessarily mean they pursue triathlon, but just pursue sport or get to see, I guess, some local Bermudians racing at the highest level in a major event. And in 2018, it was just myself racing, and now we have 3 of us, which is really incredible because the island has 64,000 people. To have 3 that can race at a level this high is really special. And I'm just very grateful for the local sporting community that's given me so much and supported me on this journey. So it gives me extra motivation to come back and put on a great race that hopefully everyone can come out and support.
If you wouldn't mind just looking into the cameras and wishing all the kids in the duathlon of Bermuda good luck for this weekend.
Okay.
Please.
Hey to all the kids racing the duathlon, I want to wish you the best of luck, and I hope you have a great time, have fun, and race fast.
I didn't want to interrupt, but old man Tyler Butterfield as well, you know, probably.
Y'all can't forget Tyler Butterfield.
Yeah, absolute legend. Christian, just want to switch gears a little bit here. The Olympic point system has started. We've got a period of 2 years, May 2022 to May 2024. You're the defending champion, the Olympic gold medalist. Is that your focus going forward now?
Yeah, so that's my next dream now, to be able to come back to Paris and defend the title. And I think it's also good to have a decent ranking coming into Paris. So I want to squeeze in enough scores now for May next year, and hopefully I can already start this weekend with a good race, and then same with Abu Dhabi, and then I guess we will start the season early next year to get some World Cups in and take it from there.
I have one more question each for the athletes, so start thinking about your questions. I will answer the questions. Would you please state your name and your affiliation when we ask your questions? We'll bring a microphone to you as well. Flora, it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask you what your thoughts are about the race this weekend. You're the local, you know the roads, you know exactly where to ride on those roads, where the greasy spots are, where the potholes are, and you're not going to be telling any of your other competition, obviously, but how do you see your race unfolding this weekend?
Yeah, I can't give away too many of the local secrets, but yeah, I mean, the conditions are going to play a big role. I think always here we get some tricky weather in and around the triathlon. It looks like it's going to be very windy, so I think that can really change the race, really expose people. Obviously the hill 8 times, that's always really difficult, and then they've added a new short little sharp hill into the bike as well. So yeah, it'll be a really hard bike, which I think, given the field, given that Taylor Nibb's here, it's really going to explode the race. So I think, yeah, she's definitely going to play a role. And then you have some other strong British women here, strong Americans. Everyone sort of vying for a podium or to improve one of their scores to help with their ranking for the end of the season. So it's definitely going to be a tough race. And yeah, I can definitely see the first couple laps of the bike being really crucial and possibly exploding the race and taking people out pretty early.
I know most of the people in the room right now will, you know, go back and sort of reminisce in 2018 when Flora made a breakaway. It was one of the most incredible breakaways and races that I've ever witnessed at this level of racing. For a woman to do what she did was just absolutely astounding. So good luck this weekend. We'd love to wish you well, Dane, and you're awesome. Christian, I'm not going to finish off on the same question with you. Rather, I'm going to congratulate you. Christian Blumenfeld became only the second man to become Olympic champion, Ironman world champion, and Ironman 70.3 champion last weekend, which is incredibly hard to do. So I just wanted to recognise you, Christian, and wish you all the best this weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to grab the microphone and hang on one sec. We'll come. David, over here, please. State your name and your affiliation. Thank you.
Hello, Kendall Trott with Bermuda Broadcasting. You briefly spoke on the weather. Looking at the weather forecast, do conditions look favorable to you?
I mean, I've only briefly looked, and I've heard it's going to be like 20 to 30 knot winds, which, coming last weekend, I started the race and it was 38 Fahrenheit, and that's not favorable to me, but as long as it's in the 70s and it's humid, I don't mind if it's raining, if it's windy, just as long as it's not just above freezing. And yeah, it'll make the race more challenging for sure, and that definitely plays into my strengths.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just to elaborate on that one, Flora, with the swim conditions, with those winds, how do you, sight or navigate in those type of conditions?
Yeah, that'll definitely make the water really choppy and be hard for sighting. Sighting's always difficult here because behind the buoys there's nothing big and visual, and it's actually just a bunch of colorful houses that make the buoy just sort of blend into the colorful houses. So yeah, if you add some chop into that, it'll make it even more difficult, even more crucial to swim a good line and not kind of lose feet and yeah.
Okay. What expectations do you have for your performance?
For my performance, Yeah, sort of open. I think for me, I'm not trying to focus on the outcome or the end goal, just really enjoy racing here. I don't have any more opportunities I'll have to do so. And so I think for me, it's more of a celebration and a thank you for everyone that has contributed to my career. It's not, I get to race here as the reigning Olympic and world champion, which is incredibly special. And so I just want to put on a good show and soak up every moment out there.
Okay, awesome. Can you tell us about your preparations?
Yeah, my preparations have been pretty good. I've sort of been focusing a little bit more on the middle distance with 70.3. So yeah, that will definitely play a big role on how Sunday goes, having raced nine days ago in Utah. But yeah, everything's been going pretty smooth and feeling in good shape to put on a good performance.
Okay, thank you very much for your questions, Bermuda Broadcasting. Let's go over to our next guest.
Earl Basin from Island Stats. Flora, how much time have you spent reliving the 2018 moment of that entire race?
Honestly, probably not too much. I think my life's been a bit kind of a whirlwind since then. But yeah, I mean, obviously coming back here, preparing for the race, 2018 was the last time I took part in this event. So yeah, I mean, it was a very special, memorable day. I honestly can't believe the race played out like that. I think you get a few days like that in your career, and I was super lucky that I had one of those days here in Bermuda in front of the biggest crowd that I've ever raced in. So I can't promise that will happen again, but for me, as part of my career, that's a very big and important day.
I have one.
And a follow-up question.
No, for you, Christian, the uniqueness of winning those three, being world champion in 3 different levels of training has to be a little different. So how did you manage to work that out to accomplish what you've been able to accomplish?
I think it's about knowing what sort of sessions and kind of what's required for the race that you're doing. So, for example, preparing for I did Bergen sprint distance race 2.5-3 months ago. Then we did more like track sessions preparing for that one. So it was like having high max and dialing in the energy system for that specific sessions. But since then, it's been really all about getting efficient around a slower pace, so I can last for longer and race to close to 8 hours. And did Hawaii 4 weeks ago, and since then it's been more like just recovering, getting ready for the race last week. So now I feel like I'm coming here with the lack of those very fast, speedy sessions, and I still hope and think that I could have a chance. There's more like a smaller percentage of chance than maybe if I did a proper build up to this one. So I just hope to throw my load in the basket and hope that I can still be in the mix.
Okay, we got like 1 more minute, so we got time for 1 more question. If not, we'll let our elite athletes go and reset for our Bermudan athletes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you please give them a big round of applause, Dame, Flora Buckley and Christian Hiddleston. And we'll just take a 2-minute break and then we will, okay. Yes, we'll do some photos right now and then we'll reset 2 minutes and then we'll get our Bermudan athletes ready to go. three Bermudan athletes. It's been absolutely incredible to see their progression over the years. We can start out with Erica down there. It was amazing. I first met you in 2018 at the Commonwealth Games in Australia, so I've actually stayed with Tyler before at his house, so that's all good. We've met before. But it's been great to see them come up through the ranks and, under the tutelage and just, having someone like Flora Duffy around to see, just dominating over the years. So triathlon here, and also I should say Tyler Butterfield as well, because he's been a large, inspiration on the, the kids and the growth of the sport in this country. So anyway, let's go and start with you, Erica. It was great, two-time, Commonwealth Games athlete, and just recently in Birmingham, I think it was a 16th place in the women's individual and a 7th place in the mixed relay. How was that?
Yeah, it was a great experience. It's always an honor representing Bermuda at any event, but a major games is something special. And being able to put forward a relay is just something that you never really thought Bermuda could do, but now we're able to compete at such a high level. So that's pretty inspiring, and it's pretty cool.
Was it inspiring for you to race next to, Flora, Tyler, and Tyler?
Oh yeah, super inspiring. I mean, in the individual, I have to race against Flora, which is a bit intimidating, but in the relay, it's cool to be a part of the same team, and it's definitely special.
And this weekend, coming, to race at home, the world's largest stage and the penultimate event of the 22 season, and all sights on Abu Dhabi to finish off, and then also to qualify for the Olympic Games in 24.
That's the goal. I think both Tyler and I have hopes of that, and we're on the ASICS World Triathlon Development Team, which helps us, try and achieve those goals. So this is only my second WTCS event, and my last one was in 2018 and was a sprint. So it's definitely a step up for me to race an Olympic at this level. So excited, but also nervous. But that's how racing goes, I guess.
Yeah, it's great to have butterflies.
Yeah.
Tyler, congratulations on all your success as well. And just recently in Birmingham, it was a great 13th place for you in the individual and 7th place in the mixed relay. For you, it was a great result at that level.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the way Birmingham went. The individual race was fun. There's a lot of tactics going on and things like that with the breakaway up the road, and it was a good experience for me to be able to compete at that level, and a lot of those guys will be here, so I'm taking a lot of confidence from that. This is certainly my second World Series, but yeah, having both Gold Coast and then Birmingham and seeing what the progression's been like Gold Coast, I was dropped on the bike, and then Birmingham, I was comfortable on the bike and able to get to the front really easily, do quite a lot of work, and there was a tactical element to it, but the progression for me has been really good over the last 4 years, and even from racing Leeds World Series last year, which was another challenging course with a pretty technical nature and also a hill, so in a lot of ways similar to the demands of this race. And I've been able to just see the sessions that I was doing before that and what I've been able to do before this, and it's given me a lot of confidence that I'm ready to compete on Sunday at this level.
Tyler, at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, the event's going to ramp up a couple more levels. What have you done to prepare for this type of level of racing against the likes of Alex Yee and Christian Blumenfeld, Gustav Eden? You've got some of the biggest names in the sport. Talking about not being dropped on the bike, in Birmingham and going through to this race on a very difficult course. Have you prepared for that? Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the biggest thing that you can get from a home course advantage is kind of funny telling people they're oh, you must have done Corkscrew Hill 100 or Flora Duffy Hill 100 times.
Flora Duffy Hill.
Flora Duffy, sorry, yeah. Flora Duffy Hill, sorry. All right, that's 20 plus years of having it, but I was saying Flora Duffy Hill is a one-way down, so we don't actually ride it, but just knowing the terrain, knowing that the course was taking the right up to the embassy or Montpellier Road and then turning back down. So I've been doing a lot of not to go into specifics, but extended blocks of threshold with a 90-second kick. I've done the Strava stalking. I've seen Christian's KOM on there or whatever. So we try to try to have an understanding of the wattage required for the hill and just replicating in that sessions, and then knowing that it's going to be technical on this side of the course. So I think that's the biggest thing with the home course, is knowing the course, and you can like copy and paste that into a session on either Turbo Trainer, or you can find some terrain to replicate the demands of the course.
In layman terms, that means that they're going to have to go all out around each and every turn. A couple of U-turns on the bike course, which is going to make it extra punchy, coming off, Florida Hill, and then turning around that Montpellier. And it's going to be to the spots. I would imagine that there's going to be a lot of breaks being made on the race day. All right, Flora, we're here again. We've talked about your racing, extensively in our interview just a moment ago, but I really want you to talk about like the growth of triathlon and the children, coming up through the ranks here. I spoke about it, with you and your family, and Tyler and his family, and Erica as well, but how important is it for the kids on the island to do something different? Instead of just sitting in front of a computer screen, it's important, to teach kids a lifestyle to get outside and be active.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've seen sort of triathlon just explode in Bermuda, and I think large part is to everyone coming out to watch this event and seeing us race. There's a lot of great people involved in the triathlon community that host races all year round. The Iron Kids, which is the race that I did when I was 7. I'm sure these two did it as their first race. And now you'll get like 500 kids there from all ages, from like 5 up to 16. And I think that's really incredible. And this duathlon on Sunday is also going to be really special. They get to feel that they're part of this major event, have their own race, and then hopefully stay and watch the elites and get further inspiration. But for me, I think that's really special, is to see all the kids and their excitement. And if they come up to me and tell me they watched me at the Olympics, and I think that's really special. It probably doesn't really click with them that they watched a Bermudian win a gold at the Olympics, but the fact that they did, and I hope they really carry that with them, and as they explore sport, whether they get into triathlon or whatever it is, it's really special. And I think for me, that's probably one of the, added bonuses to have that platform to hopefully, inspire kids to get into triathlon, and just grateful that the community of Bermuda really supports the sport, and that there's so many options and races to do from the age of 5 all the way up to, being an adult.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you've been an inspiration for many of the children on the island as well. So congratulations for that. 7 o'clock in the morning will be our duathlon, our kids' duathlon on Sunday morning, and join us tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for our Olympic and sprint distance events as well. And then on Sunday, 11 o'clock will be our men's elite race, and 2 p.m. we'll have our women's elite race, which will be happening up and down Front Street here, up Florida Hill. It's going to be amazing. If you want more information on that, triathlon.org. You can go to the website there, and also there is a Bermuda website as well for more information. Erica, we haven't finished with you yet. I know that Flora's been an inspiration, for you, but how do you see that as, living here on the island, just knowing that the kids have somebody special like that to help them, just be motivated and to be inspired to go outside and exercise?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of Flora's obviously such an inspiration to me, and I can see like the younger kids see it as well. And yeah, I mean, the stadium's named after Flora, the Corkscrew Hill is now named after Flora. I mean, sport here seems to be like part of the island and part of the community, which is pretty special, and everyone recognizes like how big triathlon is, which is pretty special. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I just wanted to touch on, this country and this wonderful island, brings so much, the America's Cup, Sail GP, the Butterfield Golf Open last week, and just so many different track and field events, swimming events, and it doesn't matter if it's cricket or whatever it is, but they get right behind it. Tyler, you grew up doing that sort of stuff. I saw your mum and dad taking you off to swim training.
Yeah.
So, how about you? I mean, it's a sports, crazy country, and look at the surroundings outside. I think that you feel pretty blessed with that, right?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's a better place that I could have grown up, to get into sport and to be able to do so much on a given weekend. You could go to a swim, like pretty much every weekend was like, you can go to a swim meet and then you go to a football match straight after, and then you come back the next day and you're running across country on a Sunday morning, and then you're doing it was just like, you could just line up so many things because we're so small that you only have to travel 5 minutes in between everything. And it's such a small community that, you're kind of just, you know your coaches really well. You have a really big support network. Like even coming back today, I'm just so grateful. Going to Winter's Edge, and that's the bike shop that I've used for my entire life. Then go to my physio. That's only 200 meters away from that, and it's the guy that I've been with since I was 12 years old. And it's just like this really small community that gives you so much support, and then what's allowed me to go and do this internationally and kind of live the dream. And it's really special to be able to come back here and have all the people that you look up to racing overseas, and some of the guys that I've raced through all the way through junior finally coming to Bermuda to race them here is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I think I want to move here. All right. Well, firstly, I just wanted to say thank you to Bermuda Tourism for loaning this incredible site today, just for all the opportunities that you've given us in triathlon as well. This is the penultimate event for the 22 season. They'll all finish off in Abu Dhabi in a couple of weeks' time at the end of November, where Flora will be going for another world title. This is your opportunity to ask some questions to our local athletes right now. So we've got a few minutes, around about 4 or 5 minutes.
All right, Earl, based in Island Stats. Can each one of you say something about the fact that tomorrow your moms will be racing, then you're racing the very next day? We'll start with you, Flora.
Yeah. That is, I guess, a funny thing, a nice thing about racing at home is that, the day before, my mom's racing and my brother's racing in a relay. And I mean, that's just kind of, I guess, normal for us now, right? I mean, when I got into triathlon at 8, they're like, well, if we're going to go to all these triathlons and everything, we may as well get into the sport too. And I mean, they've been thoroughly invested in loving the triathlon community here in Bermuda for, the last 20 years plus. So yeah, it's really cool that they'll race on Saturday and then turn around and get to watch all of us race the following Sunday. And actually, when I was getting into my teenage years and I'd race in the open category of the local races, I would often be racing against Tyler Smith's mom. She'd be my big rival,
There's a newspaper article that she keeps that's Flora's I'm racing Karen, and I think I can stick with her on the swim and the bike, but she's gonna have me on the run or something like that. I don't think it'll be very close. I mean, I think Flora was probably 14 at the time, but I think it would be quite a big gap now. But that's the reason we're all in triathlon, is really because of the community, because our parents did it. And I was talking about the community. I should say, Earl, there's interviews of you interviewing me probably when I was 12 years old doing a 400 free or something like that. So that's really the environment that Bermuda is just that it's like what you were saying about Neil, it's the same people continually being invested in the sport and bringing us the next sort of group.
It's not as if Earl was desperate for content or anything to tie on everything.
Earl's at every single sporting event.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's so many throughout the weekend, but Earl's at every single one of them. It's very meaningful, impactful, and I think that's speaks a lot about the community here in Bermuda.
The official family odds are up on triathlon.org. For the Duffies and for the Smiths and for the Horleys. So, now give us a little bit. I think the Duffies are running at about minus 250 on the odds. I'm just kidding. All right, next question.
Kendall Trot with Bermuda Broadcasting. Flora, Tyler, and Erica, how will home support help your performance?
Want me to go? Okay. I'm really hoping that the Bermuda crowds will, carry me through the race. From what I was a spectator here in 2018, and I remember watching Flora lead from start to finish, and the crowds were unreal, and I was I was a spectator at that point. Like it's kind of gives me like goosebumps to think about being on the course and, you know, being actually racing and having all of Bermuda support and cheer me on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never done the triathlon here. I've ran May 24th, so if the crowds is anything like that, but just more concentrated and just everyone from May 24th like put into town, I think it's going to be crazy. And I've been struggling with a couple injuries, so I'm hoping what I might be lacking in run fitness is just made up for by the encouragement of the crowd.
Yeah, Tyler unfortunately broke his hand there just before Birmingham and was able to muscle through, tough it out, as they say. So it was an incredible performance, a gutsy effort.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, that's the biggest highlight from 2018 is the crowd. If I look back on the pictures, like it's just absolutely insane. I mean, people lining the streets, but then people standing on every single balcony, even like some of the roofs of the building along Front Street to watch, and it just created this incredible atmosphere. And I think that's, yeah, really special and I think unique to racing here in Bermuda. I know, yeah, we all love it, but all the other athletes also really enjoy it, and it makes it that extra special and memorable. So I hope everyone can come out on Sunday and make an afternoon of watching triathlon.
Yes, it was it is definitely the favourite stop this season, that's for sure. One more question? Okay, also the grandstand was sold out in 20 minutes, so you can imagine if that's an indication of what's going to happen this weekend without crowds. I think that might be 80% of the 64,000 people that live and reside here in Bermuda may be down here on the weekend. On behalf of triathlon.org and World Triathlon, I just want to congratulate and please put your hands together for Erica, for Tyler and for Flora. Yes.